Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Dark Shadows, a Golgari Dragon's deck featuring endless removals and endless creature wipes. We're employing an artifact for card draw along with several ways of gaining life to help keep us in games longer when the opponent gets an early advantage. This is a control deck that is capable of taking out the opponent's permanents, although we focus on enemy men, especially in the early turns. To make sure we get a big advantage on board, we have a way to bring back permanents from the grave. When they hit our men with removals, it's not over. Our men come back for seconds. And thirds, maybe even 11cs. We're playing the full set of Momentum Breaker, the enchantment that kicks off a race that we're not participating in. When this enters play, the opponent has to sacrifice one of their men or toss a card. Later in the game, if we need to, we can sacrifice it and gain life equal to our speed. Getting to max speed is helpful, but it's not critical. Because this is a permanent, we can bring it back with Conduit of Worlds, gain life, and take out an enemy on each of our turns if we need it. Strategic Betrayal is a removal that also exiles the opponent's grave, preventing them from bringing anything back. It is a sorcery, which means we can't fire it off at instant speed, so we have to be strategic when we use it. Mazemind Tome is a great artifact that can help us build an advantage. Early on, when we don't have the mana, we can use it to scry to improve our draws. Once we have enough mana, we can use it to draw extra cards. Once it's gotten 4-page counters on it, it gets exiled and we gain 4 life. A great way to keep drawing cards is to use Glissa's ability to remove counters from a permanent. This way we can keep drawing cards and maintain an advantage. Glissa Sunslayer is a powerful card that is nearly unmatched in combat. With First Strike and Death Touch, it's very difficult to take her out. Glissa has been used a lot. Her abilities are absolutely fantastic. Her card drawing ability is likely the one we'll use most often, but her others can be just as good in the right situations. Scavenger Regent is the first of our dragons. It's a 4/4 flyer with a great ward ability. But we're really playing it for its omen. We can use it to wipe the board of most men. It won't hurt dragons, so if the opponent is playing them, we could have problems. But we do have the Breaker and the Betrayal to take out opposing dragons. Conduit of Worlds is an artifact that lets us play out permanents from our grave. When we do so, it comes with a drawback. If we play something from our grave, we won't be able to play anything else. It's a tough drawback, but if it keeps the opponent in check, it will be totally worth it. As a bonus, it'll also let us play out lands from our grave. Debris Beetle is a 4-mana vehicle that drains the opponent for 3 when it enters play. It has a crew 2, which means anything we have on board will be able to crew it. The Beetle has Trample, which can let us get in damages, even when the opponent has blockers available. Disruptive Stormbrood is another dragon that will destroy an artifact or enchantment when it enters play. It has an omen that lets us destroy an enemy that has power 3 or less. In combination with the Scavenger Regent, we're able to take out a team of small men, as well as larger enemy that has been shrunk down enough that petty revenge can hit it. The green Overlord has been a fantastic ramp and large body since its arrival in Standard. For 3 mana, we can play it out with its impending cost, and once we have 5 mana, we can play it out for its full price. For lands, we're playing 4 Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon, the land that we can sacrifice to fetch out a dragon from our deck. With a Conduit in play, we can sacrifice it, then play it from our grave to fetch out a dragon as often as we need. 4 Wastewood Verge, the forest that becomes a duel when we have a forest or swamp in play. 4 Underground Mortuary, the Golgari Surveil land. 3 Restless Cottage, the Golgari Man land. 5 Forest, and 4 Swamp. Playing the deck can be slightly complicated as mana can be easily tied up early through the mid-game, so decisions will have to be made on what to play out. Creature control is our way of winning. Keep enemy men to a minimum early and throughout the game. We have endless removals as well as endless creature wipes to keep the opposing team down. Get in hits whenever possible with whatever we've got on board. The green Overlord and the Beetle are great sources of damage if we can keep enemy men off the board. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Galaxy for sure, probably a galaxy far, far away. Am I right, bro? We get a shuffler special with a tome and a dragon removal. The tome by itself might be able to help us find more lands. It's always a risk keeping 2 land hands, so be careful. Keep your pants on. That includes you, opponent. Our Surveil land shows us a storm on top. It's a good land, plus we need to get to 4, so we'll keep it. We'll play out the Tome. It's great for drawing cards, but this early we won't have mana available until later, so don't be afraid to use it to scry. The opponent's first play is an Animal Pack Owl. It can end up turning into a one-man army, so we'll want to eliminate it as soon as possible. We'll scry with the Tome, and that's another land on top. We want lands to power out our spells, but we've got 2 lands already in hand. We draw a cottage, which is fine. We'll be able to activate it, then swing in later on. For now, we'll snipe their Pack Owl and send him to an early grave in a cheap coffin. They ditch a pair of cards to get a pair of fresh ones. The draw is fine as long as the board is clear. Let's scry up once again. Never be afraid to use the Tome to improve your draws. That's a Scavenger Regent on top. It's a board wipe, and it looks like they want to present us with multiple men, so we'll take it. We could play out the Beetle this turn, drain them for 3, and then next turn we can crew up and send it. But I like the idea of hitting them with Glissa as early as possible to get us an extra draw. Plus we can use her ability to remove the counters from the Tome, and we can keep drawing. They have removal, which is unfortunate, but our men don't stay dead. The Conduit will let us play out dead men from our grave. They play out a Hive. That's usually the first step in a token strategy. There will be other things to boost their tokens. On top we have another Regent. A double Regent hand, boys? I like it. This turn we'll play out the Conduit. It's the first step towards endless removals and undying men. They play out a War Leader's call. It was going to be something like that. Luckily, it wasn't a Caretaker's talent. That would give them card draw as well as team pump. That's a Lord Beard coming down. He too turns into a one-man army. This is a board we'll want to clear out. Board wipe number 1 coming up. Because we used the Omen, the Regent will get shuffled back into our deck and possibly draw again in the future. Shout out to Wizards for making an endless sweeper. You guys are hilarious. They are not giving up on Plan Token. The pain from each of their men entering play is starting to add up. We draw a Momentum Breaker, which is good. First, let's clear out their tokens, then we can play out the Breaker and make them toss their last card. They are top-decking like champs. I was trying to save the last Tome activation for a draw, but we're going to need solid draws to have a chance. Let's see what we've got on top. That's a Strategic Betrayal, which won't help us in this case. Let's send it on down and try for something else. As a bonus, we gain 4 life when our Tome gets exiled. Now that is an excellent draw. This is board clear number 3. Fire in the hole. We drew a fourth board clear. That's pretty awesome. This turn we'll play out the beetle. It'll be on standby waiting to be activated. Then we'll bash them in the face with poop. Let's get Glissa back from the grave. Thanks to their map tokens, we can use them and maybe pump her up. We've got a betrayal on top, we'll hang on to it. In case they have something that's difficult to snipe, the betrayal will get the job done against indestructibles and hex-proof enemy men. To my surprise, they don't send in their 2 tokens. That's a pair of damages they've missed out on, and a poison closer to the 3 they need for their tokens to gain life link. Let's get in there with Glissa. We can use her enchantment sniping ability to take down their hive. Without the token generator, they won't have any men. Board clear number 3 coming in. Brace yourself, bro. They're probably getting busy making a squishy in their shorts. They hit Glissa with a lightning helix, but we can bring her back. Death is only the beginning. We draw a Stormbrood, but this turn goes to bringing Glissa back from the grave. It's all coming up betrayals around here. I did consider sending in the beetle for beatings to the face with a ball of poop, but I wanted to defend against a possible hasty threat. They are Boras after all. They get a Mondric down, but even if they had been able to make it indestructible, we have a betrayal with its name on it. They know they're cooked like a rotisserie chicken. GG's, extra cheese. This is Obsidian. He's trying to be the Black Rock. He's lucky I don't eat frog's legs. We get another Shuffler special with triple Stormbrood, the removal dragon. We've got a tome as well, which did help us in the last game. If we can get to 3 mana, the Overlord can definitely get us more land. There will be a lot of sniping this game. Keep your hopes up. We draw a 3rd land right away. Let's play out the tome and get ready to scry our way to better cards. The opponent thought long and hard about that one. They've likely got a way to snipe our tome, but decided not to use it. On top we have a beetle, but let's try to get a few more lands. We do have the Overlord, but getting up to 5 or 6 mana would be nice. They have an Overlord of their own. It's so good, especially when there aren't any threats on the other side. Our scry shows us a Surveil land. We'll take it. Our Surveil land shows us a land on top, but we'll bin it. Remember that the Conduit allows us to play lands from the grave, so tossing them in the grave is no big deal. We'll be able to play it out on our next turn. They're checking out our stuff once again. They could have taken out any one of our permanents, but they choose to get something out of their deck. That's a cheater beastie they fetched up. It's a bit too big to take out with a Stormbrood Omen, so we might be in for some trouble. We draw a Glissa and that will be our play. We've got enough mana for a Tome activation. A Breaker or a Betrayal would be nice to draw into, but we get another Overlord. The cheater comes down, and we'll have to see what they do to tap it. They don't have any vehicles. We draw a Tome, which isn't a removal. Let's send in Glissa, and we can snipe their Overlord. Let's play out the second Tome, and we can leave mana up to draw with both if we need to. They send their cheater. That's a rough way to tap it. Let's block up and take it out. They make their guy indestructible, and that lets it survive the encounter with our Overlord. Now we have to see what they're able to drop down. Let's tighten the belt on our pants. A Lord Voldemort, we should have known. They take out our Overlord and they'll be able to play it out. All we can do is draw and hope we get something we can use to take out their Voldemort. A cottage is not going to do it. Let's draw again. That's another land. That's unfortunate, but then we draw a breaker. This could work. Let's play out our Surveil land. And on top we have a Betrayal. That's 2 sacrifices we can force them to make. But first, let's send in Glissa for damages. As we expected, they don't block. Let's snipe our Overlord and get it out of the way. Now we can play out the Breaker and get one of their men out of the way. Once it's gone, we can draw the Betrayal and use it on their Voldemort. And we'll exile their grave as well, so there won't be any coming back. That was a great sequence, for us at least. They play out a Glissa. That's a card we can snipe with Petty Revenge. They follow up with another Charm and use it to get another cheater. They are determined to go down this path. But it's the wrong way. Let's snipe their Glissa. There's no reason to trade in battle at this point. The problem with Conduit is sometimes you draw another. It's an okay problem to have when the board is clear on the other side. The great thing about Glissa is we can use her to take counters off permanents. That includes our own Overlords. It's a great way to get them in play as men faster, while only paying 3 mana. They play out their cheater, but this time we can do something to take it out. We get through with Glissa, and we'll use her ability to take 3 counters off our tome. Draw is king, and in a game this close, every card could matter. We don't need to do a lot, we just need to shrink the cheater down so we can snipe it. It'll cost us a pair of cards, but it will get the job done. They didn't have the cards to save its bacon. Get gone, girl. They say it's GG's, but we've had opponents do that before, and they've been sneaky about it. Let's stay alert. They drop an Atraxa. It's a hand reload for them, but it won't be enough to keep them in the game. On our turn, we can sacrifice the breaker, then replay it with the Conduit, and take out their Atraxa. And yes, indeed, that will be GG's. Extra cheese. This is the fervent Kara Curry. She likes not having eyes and pays hundreds to get her nails done. We get yet another shuffler special with double dragon removal, and another pair of removals along with a conduit. At least we're armed to the teeth. Keep. We draw a third land right away, which is amazing. We always want to get to at least 4 mana right away. They drop a bat, but yeah, good luck, bro. Most of our hand is removal of one form or another. Let's use the breaker on their bat. It'll get the race started, plus we don't really want to shuffle any dragons back in just yet. They play out an Innkeeper's Talent, and they're in Golgari colors. This could be a combo deck along the lines of our Avengers 3 deck that used Planeswalkers along with the boost from the talent to get ultimates fired off early. They drop a Preacher, but it'll be another victim to one of our removals. This time around, we will use a Petty Revenge to take out their Preacher. We'll use the Betrayal here. It'll only cost us 2 mana, and we can play out the Overlord with Impending. Plus the Betrayal will make sure their Dread Knight won't be coming back to make a repeat appearance in this game. Smell you later, bro. They level up their talent, then follow up with a Pillage. If this doesn't smell like a combo, I don't know what does. We can't let them keep their talent. We'll play one of our Stormbroods and snipe their enchantment. Every time the opponent says nice, it means we've wrecked their plans. That was nice, thanks, bro. They drop a Glissa. Luckily, we can snipe it before it does any damage. We have the mana to play out the Conduit, then snipe Glissa. Everyone is running low on ammo, but with a Conduit we can reload better than them. That's a Vraska they are playing out. Had we not sniped their talent, we'd be done with her first activation. That's cool and all, but there's one problem, bro. We've got man lands. Let's activate and get in there. This deck can't get their men from the grave over to our side, so we'll wipe out their men in the grave to make sure they can't come back.
They've chosen to die.
Their Planeswalker is drawing them a lot of cards. We definitely need to make sure we take it out. They play out a bat, and we're about to lose our last card. At the end of their turn, we'll sacrifice the breaker, that way we can play it again on our turn, and we can get in for hits with our Angry Outhouse. I think they're starting to notice our combo. Tighten those pants, bro. Things are going to get tough. We draw a Glissa, but our play will be the breaker. We'll snipe their blocker and activate the outhouse. They use a removal to take out our land, but we can replay it from the grave. This is what we do. This is who we are.
Patience. We will.
They'll need another removal because our cottage is getting fired up. They've got another removal. They'll need those the remainder of the game if they want to keep their Vraska on board. We've already played a land, and the only other play we can make is Glissa, which is all right.
You know nothing of Phyrex's plans.
They get a Dread Knight down, but that's not a safe blocker. We'll snipe him to get it out of the way. It's like a 2-for-1. We can eliminate their knight right out of the grave and take down Vraska. It's all but over now. They don't have endless removals to keep our men down.
I can taste your fate. In time, we always win.
They play out a Preacher, which makes for a rough road bump. Then follow up with another Vraska. Let's sacrifice our breaker, then replay it. This will clear out their Preacher, and we can take out Vraska with a cottage. They are fighting a losing battle.
Again.
They play out a Lily. They can snipe our Overlord, but our man lands remain.
My home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch my thing.
They know it's over and scurry off like a cockroach into the night. Smell you later, bro. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.